Baltimore is on the road at Atlanta. Appears to be the third straight start for Lamar Jackson. Coach, who you got?
Well, I think you got offense and defense. I'm going with defense. Even though it's on the road in Atlanta, I'm going with that Ravens defense.
I'm going to go with offense. I'm going to pick the Atlanta Falcons. I think they're going to score some points at home. Lamar Jackson's going to have to be a quarterback in this game. There's going to be some third downs that he's going to have to convert. And I think the Falcons will get a couple turnovers off of him that'll help them win the game.
Joe Flacco back to practice to some degree, but still not fully cleared to play. The Broncos fresh off, I think you go out an upset over the Steelers. Up next, they go on the road to Cincy. Are we picking on the Bengals?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think even on the road at Cincy, I'm going with that run game. Cincinnati has struggled in that area. I think Denver takes a good approach in that area as far as establishing that run, even on the road.
I agree with you, Coach. I'm going to take the Broncos, too. Phillip Lindsay's an outstanding player. He's averaging almost 6 yards a carry. Love his explosion through the hole, his speed when he gets out there. So I'm going to take the Broncos, too, Wendy.
Case Keenum seemingly settling in as well. Break up the Rams. They are 10-1, obviously in very good position. They take their show on the road, if you will, to Detroit.
Yeah, I think they had a long break off the bye, off that Monday night, that exciting game. I like the Rams in this one. I think it's great for their defense because they get Aqib Talib back, and anxious to watch him play.
Yeah, and with Talib back, I mean, they can put him on Kenny Golladay. Kenny Galladay's had the most targets in the NFL since Week 10. They got to take care of him. I think they will. The Rams are going to continue to surge. They can feel it. They can feel the playoffs coming. The Lions, they're sort of fading. I'm going to take the Rams.
And Sean McVay making the announcement on Thursday that he expected to have Aqib Talib. Josh Rosen will make his second start since returning from injury. He will do so on the road in Green Bay. Who you got?
Well, I'm going with Green Bay Packers at home to keep their playoffs alive. Aaron Rodgers, they weren't very happy with their offense a week ago. I think they've gone back to the drawing board, and I look for them to have an explosive outing against the Cardinals.
I agree with everything you just said. The Arizona Cardinals are struggling. They're one of the worst teams in the league. For the rest of the season, people are going to look at draft position for the Arizona Cardinals, and with that come a lot of losses. Packers win.
All right, Packers win. They're on the outside looking in right now, but you never know. They do have Aaron Rodgers. All right, now don't sleep on the Buffalo Bills. Coming off a win over the Jags, they'll go on the road, take on another Florida team when they head to Miami.
Yeah, I think Sean McDermott's done an outstanding job with the Bills. This is a big division game for those two teams. I just think Miami's hard to beat at home. I'm going with the Miami Dolphins.
Well, I'm going to go with the Bills, and Sean McDermott, Coach, I'm just a fan. I'm a fan of his,
I got to be honest, I am too.
And how
Adam Gase too, though. That's the problem.
Yeah. And how he's got his team playing hard. Big win versus the Jaguars last week at home. I think they take it on the road and they win.
Listen, you got to tip your cap to Buffalo. They could have faltered. I mean, it was a mess, and they could have folded. They have not. So good job, Buffalo. Up next for Chicago, the Giants, the Bears without Mitchell Trubisky. Again, Chase Daniel gets a start.
Even without Mitchell Trubisky, I like the Bears to go in and beat New York in New York. I think that defense has been carrying them most of the season. I think they'll do it again on Sunday.
You're taking the Bears, and I'm taking the Bears to beat the Giants with a backup quarterback in New York.
Something's wrong.
I mean, what's that say about the New York Giants? I think what it's saying is we both think that Chicago Bear defense is pretty darn good and borderline great. So I think they'll make a bunch of plays to take the ball away 2-3 times for that offense of the Chicago Bears and help them out. I'm going to take the Bears.
That's the glass half full way to pick against the New York Giants at home against a backup quarterback.
Yeah,
I like how you did that. The Carolina Panthers are on the road. Up next, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Coach, you know Carolina pretty well.
Yeah, I do. I think, Tampa Bay's played really good offense. The DBs at Carolina have struggled a little bit with deep passing game. But I still like the Carolina Panthers to take it in Tampa Bay because of that turnover ratio. They're minus 21, and that's been biting them all year. I like the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, even though the Buccaneers have had offensive success, I mean, I see them being reckless at times, and giving the ball away, and that's going to be the deciding factor against the Panthers in this one. I'm going to take the Panthers, too.
All right, Cam Newton likes it. He says he's playing as well as he's ever played. We'll see over the weekend. Andrew Luck really playing exceptional football. It's been good to see. Up next, he'll try to do it against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I think I like Indianapolis in this one. I think Jacksonville's played pretty good defense. They're making a change at quarterback. I just think regardless of what receivers are out there, Andrew Luck's playing tremendous football. I like the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, there's a big shift right now going on in Jacksonville. I don't like that. I don't like the mentality or the emotional state that they're in. I'm going to go with the Indianapolis Colts. Darius Leonard, that linebacker on the defensive side for the Indianapolis Colts, is playing great. They call him the Maniac. He plays like a maniac. So Indianapolis Colts win this one.
Just so many changes with offensive coordinator at quarterback for the Jags. They just seem to be in a little bit of disarray. Well, Cleveland beat the Bengals last week. Hugh Jackson now on that staff. Up next, Houston with a quarterback and an offense playing pretty well.
Yeah, I'm going with Houston. I just like, they're on a roll right now, 8 in a row. I think they're going to make it 9 in a row at home in front of their home crowd. I like the Houston Texans.
I'm going to take the Houston Texans, too. I think that defensive coordinator Romeo Crennel will take away Jarvis Landry and make Baker Mayfield find other targets out there, make it tough on him. J.J. Watt's playing well again. A lot of stars on the defensive side of the ball for the Texans. I'm going to take them.
It's been a while since they started 0-3. Think about that. This would be their 9th straight win for the Texans. Sam Darnold making progress. It's still unclear, though, if he'll be available for the weekend. The Jets travel to Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee has struggled a little bit on defense. I like for them to get well against the Jets. I think Dean Pease and his group will answer the bell, so I like the Tennessee Titans.
I'm going to take the Titans, too. I think they watched the film last week on how the Jets struggled versus the run game of the New England Patriots. They established that run game with Henry and Lewis, and they'll win the football
All right,
game. Yeah.
Tennessee, the big winner. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid have been a marriage made in heaven so far. It does not seem as though the Chiefs are slowing down at all, and they head to Oakland.
Yeah, I don't think the black hole is going to slow them down either. I think there's a lot of matchups there that are in Kansas City's favor. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs off a big rest. I think they have a big day.
Yeah, I can't find any reason to tell you that the Oakland Raiders have a chance. So
Yeah,
I'm going to
hard.
go with the Chiefs.
Sometimes we say, so you're saying there's a chance? We're not
this
really
time. Not so
saying
much.
that. Yeah. The Vikings are on the road at New England. It is dangerous territory to pick against New England in December at home, Coach, but never say never.
Yeah, I'm going outside the box
Okay.
here. I'm picking the Minnesota Vikings. But there's some reason for that. I think right now to have any chance in the NFC North to win that division, because they got a game and a half lead or behind trailing by a game and a half, the Chicago Bears, for any chance for them to even think about that division title, they've got to beat New England in Foxborough.
There's no question.
I'm going to take the Patriots in this one. I mean, the Vikings have a great defense. There's no doubt about that. The players that they have, the pass rush that they have. I just think that the short and intermediate throws, the completions to Edelman, to White, those type of throws are what Tom Brady is going to lean on heavily. So I'm going to take the Patriots.
And Gronk now healthy, they say,
That helps.
and back at full strength. That helps. A lost season of sorts for San Francisco after losing their quarterback, of course, Jimmy Garoppolo, for the season. San Francisco, travels to Seattle, the return of Richard Sherman.
Yeah, it's going to be a big division rival. The records kind of go out of the window. But I think in this one, Seattle's in that playoff hunt. They beat Carolina last week to kind of keep those hopes alive. The 12th man, I'm going to pick the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I agree with you, Coach. I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks also because, what you're going to start to see, Wendy, as December rolls along are the teams that are still in the race, how they play differently than the teams that you can tell that have no hope of making the playoffs. These are two of them right here. Seattle has hope to be in the playoffs. They will win this football game.
An important distinction when you move into the final month of the regular season. The well-oiled machine, that is the LA Chargers, takes the show on the road. Actually, they come east. They will play the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh on this one. I think they moved the ball up and down the field last week in a loss in Denver. I think they get some of those ball security problems squared away as far as fumbles and interceptions. I think Ben Roethlisberger answered the bell at home and against a tough opponent, but I'm going with Steelers.
All right, I'll disagree with you here, Coach. I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Chargers. The Steelers do have a really good pass rush, but Phillip Rivers, the way he makes his decisions so quickly and gets rid of that football to players like Keenan Allen and Antonio Gates, I think that's going to be the difference offensively. And to tell you the truth, in the fourth quarter, I'm going to watch Joey Bosa make a play to win this football game against Ben Roethlisberger holding the ball a little too long, so I'll take the Los Angeles.
Joey Bosa will be back for the third game after missing a great deal of time with that foot injury. The Washington Redskins on the outside looking in, so too are the Eagles, but both of these teams still in the hunt.
Yeah, I'm going to go Philadelphia Eagles. I've been on them for a few weeks now. Again, they had a miserable start. I look for them to go on another run here. This division could be all tied up at 6-6, the NFC East. So I think for Philly to have any chance, it's a must-win.
Yeah, and you see how Colt McCoy was careless with the football last week. I think that continues, and you're waiting for it. If you're a Philly fan, you're waiting for it in terms of the relationship of Carson Wentz and Golden Tate. Hopefully it happens this Monday night. I think it does.